Hello, everybody. Accureye here, and welcome back to another Accureye Talks video. In today's Accureye Talks video, I'm going to be talking about one kind of a concern that I have, and two, some small tips to helping you improve. As you know, maybe you don't know how to improve on the game, and you're kind of questioning, okay, what do I do? How do I get better at the game if I'm always going to be, running into small issues or whatever? Well, one of the main ways to improve, of course, is by watching videos, watching other YouTubers, watching, people who are doing the, who are tournament players if you're aspiring to be a tournament player. But another thing is, of course, learning to, utilize, trials. Trials are another great way of being able to improve the game and, of course, get better overall. But, those are some small ways. Of course, practice offline is always a great idea, and it's always a good way to get improvement in the game. But, overall, in general, it's just a matter of being able to, do stuff and utilize items that are going to be, at least to maybe some degree, helping you improve the overall experience. And, of course, like I've said before, I found that, improvement comes from many different ways and many different things in a sense. And one of the main ways to improve is, of course, to practice on, practice on offline. Practicing offline will help you be able to improve your ability, be able to improve what you can do, and just in general be able to improve you. Now, other ways, of course, to improve is by of course doing the trial mode, practicing and learning what you need to learn. But obviously, obviously, low tier is its own scummy tier list. And in my opinion, low tiers are always going to be the most scummiest players you'll ever run into. Not only do they not have any actual respect or true respect at all in the game, but, low tiers also are just very, very, like I've said, they're very, very scummy. They'll scumbag their way in and out of whatever they can. And the reason they do this is because, of course, they want to make it to where they will win. And they don't care how they win, they just want to win, obviously. Obviously, they just want to win, it doesn't matter how they win or whatever. It's just a matter of they're just going to play scumbag to win, And, this leads into my problem with Street Fighter and, fighting games is, as I've said before, and it was one of the main reasons I kind of stopped playing, and I started pushing away from the fighting game community, was I started seeing the issues with low tier players. And I started seeing the issues with the hype and excitement. And there's no problem with the hype and excitement, but the problem is, of course, you got too many players who are going button mash. You got too many players that are going to rely on specials, rely on supers, rely on crush blows. And it's just kind of a cheap trick way of winning the game. And in my opinion, that's just the problem. Problem in the game. It's just like, I think, the issue is that it's just scummy connection and the fact that we got too many players who are relying on crush blows, jumping around, acting like a little idiot, which normally, in a LAN match wouldn't be a problem. And I don't think in a tournament I'd have much of a problem. But in many ways, I'm still running into issues with, crush blows and all these other small little tips where I'm really just getting spammed at and crush blowed. And, so yeah. That's one of the issues in the game. And, I don't know exactly what it is, why low tiers are using crush blows so much, and why it's just like becoming such a scumbag move. Because, again, I feel that, with fighting games the way they are, it's not like they're becoming worse, but it definitely feels like, the lower tier you are, the more a person or person who's playing the game is basically going to use a scumbag move. It's going to use a move that basically makes them like, hey, look at me, I'm going to crush blow you. I'm going to use this one move just to win the game, and it's like, hooray, I win, and I think that's just one of the main issues that you will see with, with the overall playstyle of the title. Is just like, many players are coming into a point of, if I scumbag my way through, I'm going to still win. So it's like, I don't know why, this issue exists, but obviously, for many reasons, it exists because of the fact that, let's face it, it is a small issue. It is a problem. And, obviously there are people, there are ways to get around it. But again, maybe it's my dumb thinking. Maybe it's also connection. But seriously, I don't understand why so many players play like scumbags. And, that was the main issue I have with Street Fighter, is that we have way too many scumbag moves. Way too many people who are using these moves just to scumbag their way out. For instance, like reused DP, Immortal DP, Invincible DP. I mean, why the heck does it exist? It doesn't make sense that it would exist. I don't see the point, nor do I see a reason to have an Invincible DP. It seems like a real easy cheese out move, if you will. And I mean, that's the main thing, is it is kind of in its own way, if you will, say it, cheesebag move. It's a douchebag move. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, well, when you look at it, it's like, yeah, it is a cheesebag move. It is a move that's gonna, that's gonna basically, be a bit of a douchebag, thing. It is going to be something that will douchebag you into, into overall whatever, whatever it works for them, in a way. So, yeah. But, I mean, so yeah. And, I mean, that's something that I'm noticing is, is an issue going forward, is that, it is something that, to me, I look at it and I'm wondering if there's just something that I'm missing on it. So, yeah. And, so, yeah. And, it's definitely something where, like, I've noticed it as an issue going forward. And, of course, I look at frame data and I look at things like, look at things. And I've looked at the frame data before. I've looked at things where, where I'm looking at the frame data. Also, I've checked out the ways things have come, tried to come around, but I still don't understand where the issue falls, because obviously, let's face it, at the end of the day, the issue does still kind of, exist in its own sense, and, I'm not sure. I mean, maybe it's just something that the game doesn't look at, because again, like I've said before, I find that, honestly, there is a bit of a, a point where, where I will say that the game just doesn't make any sense with its frame data or anything like that. Like, maybe the frame data does make sense to a degree, but let's face it, I would call out more or less, possibly, there is a, possibly there is a issue with, exploitation of the game. And maybe that's just my thought. But anyway, the main issue I guess I want to address is there something that players on low tiers are using to exploit the game? Because if there is, then what is the exploitation? Because let's face it, you have so many people who are using characters like Kaji, characters like Ryu, characters like Ken, characters like Guile, and it's like they're getting away with things that honestly seem like, how the heck would you get away with it? Because there's almost no way of getting away with certain moves that seem like it's impossible. For instance, like Guile's frames, for instance, as an example, on one of the moves that like Guile has. For instance, like Guile's somersault kick, it should be negative 28 frames. But how the heck is it that I'm getting on block, it should be negative 28 frames, right? It has a 4-frame startup. So how the heck is it that I'm getting blasted out from a block situation on negative 4 frames in a corner, and as soon as I jump out? Is there like, does my jump out corner have like a recovery frame that I don't know about? Because, I mean, seriously, like, it's like, how the heck do I mess up? How the heck do I get crushed on that? Because it's like, seriously, I don't understand it. So there must be like some kind of exploitation that low tier players are using. I mean, let's face it, I hate to call out low tier players and say most of them are cheating, but I have a feeling that there is an exploitation that I don't know about, and maybe many of us don't know about that we are not seeing, that is being used by other players, especially the low tier players, because, it's like, I don't understand how that frame data would still be, crushed load, because, I mean, let's face it, 9 out of 10 times, I don't see that being a crush blow situation. So, I mean, yeah. Anyway, these are just my thoughts. I'm just, I have my concerns, and I think that, honestly, there are some exploitations on the game that we just don't know about yet, that are being used on, on Street Fighter that is, that is not normal, I guess you could say, and let's face it, that seems to be the issue here, is that, honestly, there are some data, some frames, and some things that are just not being used, in a way that is, for say, normal, I guess. So, anyway. With that being said, I mean, thank you, everybody, for joining me today on this video. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, then you know what to do. Hit the like button, get subscribed, hit the bell notification, because I know you want to know when my next video drops next. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today on this video. Thank you for watching this video. And, yeah, until the next one, and I am live on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/Accureye. I am live on, on Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday for sure, but lately I've also been live on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So yeah, but with that being said, I mean, thank you everybody for joining me today on this video. Thank you for watching this video. And yeah, if you like this video, you know what to do. Hit the like button, get subscribed, hit the bell notification, because I know you want to know when my next video drops next. Thank you everybody for joining me today on this video. Thank you for watching this video. And yeah, like I said, until the next one, everybody, this is Accureye signing out and saying farewell, everyone.